Irene is gone, and now the damage left behind from the hurricane is being assessed. The storm knocked down trees and power lines, leaving millions without power. The storm is being blamed for at least 21 deaths in 9 states. Good afternoon, I'm Justin Michaels. Flooding is also a major problem today, with some rivers in New York and across New England now posing flood threats. ABC's John Hendren has more now.
Irene is now history. The hurricane-turned-tropical storm was downgraded as it churned into Canada and is no longer a named storm, but not before wreaking lethal havoc up the eastern seaboard.
It's like a pool. Everything is floating. The bed is floating. My freezer's floating.
After ravaging North Carolina, Virginia, and Maryland, Irene battered through the Northeast's biggest cities: Philadelphia, New York, Boston, collapsing piers and bridges like this one in Vermont.
Oh my God!
Irene left close to 5 million homes without power, 1 million in New Jersey, over 900,000 in New York State, 700,000 in Connecticut.
The power outage in your area. Your power will be restored by Sunday, September 4th, 8 p.m.
In New Jersey, the water gave firefighters a challenge trying to put out this fire.
I notified the authorities that there was a ruptured gas main. This was yesterday afternoon, but I guess they could not get into it to shut the main off.
65 million Americans coped with an epic disaster of hurricane wind and water. At their most ferocious, Irene's winds reached 115 miles an hour. More than 24 Americans died.
It's going to take time to recover from a storm of this magnitude.
After Irene passed, the landscape was transformed. This is Tiana Bay on Long Island before the storm, this after. The storm clouds have long passed, and the sun rose this morning on the Statue of Liberty. That storm may have torn up much of the eastern seaboard, but here in New York, the big story is that disaster passed us by. John Hendren, ABC News, New York.
As many as 1 million people's flight plans were touched by Irene, so we also stopped by Cleveland Hopkins this morning to assess any flight trouble there. In total, between Hopkins and Akron-Canton, there were only a handful of delayed or canceled flights. We didn't find anybody camping out in the main terminal. In fact, everyone we talked with said it was business as usual to them for a Monday morning. Now, we do know, however, countrywide, United and Continental did pre-cancel 437 flights today, most of them coming from or going to Hurricane Irene affected areas. Meanwhile, Ohio is doing its part to help in the recovery from Hurricane Irene. Ohio Task Force 1, which includes doctors, structural engineers, firefighters, and specially trained dogs, has been called to the New York, New Jersey area. In addition, Akron-based First Energy sent crews to New Jersey and Pennsylvania to help restore power in those states.